Captain, we've heard a lot about the fire crews, though, running out of water. Where is the water being sourced from to fight the blaze at this point? And a lot of folks do ask why seawater is not utilized more to supplement the water supply for firefighting, and there being infrastructure for that.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to the infrastructure in LA. I'm from Orange County. It's another jurisdiction. But I do know that they brought in water tenders and they're doing what they can to mitigate the problem that has arisen. And as far as the seawater, we are having resources that are utilizing seawater. There are certain aircraft that are designed to pick up the seawater, but then there's certain aircraft that just aren't. These helicopters are very, very technical pieces of equipment, and that corrosive salt water will just destroy their equipment. And that then it becomes unsafe for the firefighters in the air flying them. And it's not going to help anybody else if our equipment goes down. So those helicopters that cannot pick up seawater, there are plenty of places to pick up water in California. Those helicopters can pick up from anything as small as a backyard pool to a golf course pond. So there's water to be found. It's just a matter of finding it, and when the conditions are like they were the other day, it's hard to find a backyard pool in the smoke or a small pond on a golf course. So as far as the salt water, they're using it where they can. There are certain, you've seen the super scoopers that do that, but not all the helicopters are designed for that. It just, it damages the equipment and makes it unsafe for everybody.
Captain, what needs to happen for these areas to rebuild with confidence, do you think? I mean, if this were your immediate community and you were facing this, and just knowing what your guys are facing out there, what needs to happen in order for these folks to be able to, these communities to come back?
Well, that's such a big question. It's going to take a lot of support from the community, from the government at all levels. Insurance companies will hopefully do the right thing and pay their, sorry, my light went off, pay out their policies, but it's going to take time. And people are going to rebuild. We're a resilient state, we're a resilient country, and it's going to take time. It's going to take the support of everybody coming together to rebuild, not throwing blame, not trying to make it a political statement of any kind, but just band together as a country and a community and rebuild.
And then lastly, before we go, Governor Newsom had a virtual call with President Biden yesterday to discuss the impact of the wildfires and what help the state could use from the federal government. Here's a portion of what he had to say. This is his top priority.
We've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation lies. People want to divide this country. And we're going to have to address that as well, that are out there, people I meet every single day, people the mayor's been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you'd have at this time, and you wonder where this stuff comes from, and it's very damaging as well.
To your mind, Captain, what he believes that disinformation is part of his biggest problem, but what do you think the state needs the most help with at this moment from the federal government?
I think at this point that what we need the most is just their support. After this starts to wind down, the people that were affected, the folks that lost their home, they're going to need some financial support. I can tell you from the first responder side, from the boots on the ground, FEMA has been responding. We have a FEMA USAR task force in our agency, and the request has gone out for us to send a task force of specially trained personnel. FEMA from our agency has sent out the HRD, the human remain dogs, to search for any potential folks that may have perished in their homes. So I do know from the FEMA side, because that's really the only part of the government that we've interacted with, they are doing their part to assist where they can. You've seen the video of the National Guard. I believe the government, I believe everybody's trying to do the right thing. And this shouldn't become a political thing. Were the things done wrong? Probably. And we should assess that when it's all over. But right now, we should focus on the folks that have been affected and putting this fire out.
Information. Truth is freedom. is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.